or any kind of home improvement store, get yellow nylon rope about 8 feet or about 3.5 meters and about 1/2 inch
That's sick.
thick, or about 3 centimeters.
You just got served, Squad Dockers. Snoopaloo here. And, okay, we're finally watching part 2 to the story that we got to check out in one of my first videos since starting up this channel again, by Rob Gavigan. Horror Behind a Webcam, part 1. That's the one we saw. Pretty decent, right? And I'm pretty sure that there's a handful of people out there, including myself, who've been wanting to actually see the conclusion, who the person is, what's going to happen. Well, now we got it. It's here. And probably, it's funny. It came out so much like quite a while after part 1 came out, like more than a couple of months. And then when it did come out, sorry to say, it took me over a month to actually react to it again. So, and when I reacted to part 1 the first time, was like right away. So it's been a wait. Sorry, should I apologize? No, it's a day of joy and excitement. Let's check it out.
This is part 2 and the conclusion to the horror behind a webcam episode of Seriously Strange. If you haven't seen part 1, watch that first.
Yeah, I've seen it. Oh man, I love this so much. Like, why can't there be more web-based, crime shows?
I'd like to thank this video's sponsor, Keeps.
Tales from the internet. I feel like that's taken.
Some 14-year-old jackass is snickering somewhere behind you, so you run out, sobbing uncontrollably, and piss your pants for some...
This is oddly specific.
And bam! You go bald anyway. This is Matt Santoro, fellow YouTuber and good friend. But he's
Really?
hideous to look at.
I did not know that.
Really sad. Aside from the fact he looks horrifically deformed, he's also bald as a 2-week-old fetus. You don't want to look like this freak, do you? I didn't think so.
I haven't seen Matthew in a while, actually.
You're a god amongst men and you're great at everything and you can have any woman or
Can't
man or
argue with any of
desire.
that.
So why? In 2008, a young university student named
Memories. 2008, right?
She had been accepted to Carleton University in
Oh, shit.
Ottawa, along with many other top-tier universities. After all, she had been one out of only 100 people accepted into Carleton's public affairs and policy management program. She was truly living what seemed
All the more tragic, but
she quickly fell in love.
actually, it's tragic nonetheless, getting to know this person. That's what... You know what I mean?
And now she was to deal with her situation alone. What was she going to do in terms
Shit.
of schooling now? She knew she wasn't ready for a child. The stress amounted to such an extreme that Nadja had a miscarriage. This tragic reality only worsened the depression she
Fudge.
choice had been taken from her. Nadja Kajuji posted on one of the websites asking for a suicide method that would make her death
Shit.
ideally look like an accident. Nadja promptly received
Oh,
a
man.
response from a user named Cam.
Really? Cammy? 2008's Karen.
Cammy and Nadja had a rather extensive back and forth as Nadja was insistent on jumping off a bridge into a mostly frozen river. Cammy truly relied on Nadja's feelings as she said things such as, "I wish we both could die now while we are quietly in our homes tonight," with a smiley face.
Smiley face.
That this was a team effort and that they were fully in it together.
Oh. Yep. Internet psycho.
"We are together in this," to which Cammy replied, "Yes, I promise."
What kind of troll is this? Ugh.
any kind of home improvement store get yellow nylon rope about 8 feet or about 3.5 meters and about 1/2 inch
That's sick.
thick or about 3 centimeters. Her body was found 6 weeks later, wearing the skates still. It is unclear whether the cause of death was drowning or hypothermia.
Did we ever find out who Cammy was?
Did not comment much publicly, but rather told posters to check their email. This made her far harder to trace. She specially aimed to find the most desperate and naive. For reasons unknown, in 2006, Lee Dow disappeared from the site. She must have finally killed herself. Needless to say, many had formed a bond with Lee Dow.
That was always just a story, probably.
Or at least someone who cared for them in a genuine way.
She herself was never suicidal, you know what I mean? Theory. Just a theory.
Dow was still trying to convince some to kill themselves, and when others wanted to speak with her on the phone...
She got smarter, that's what happened.
This is when the users who interacted with her began to think she was getting high off the suicides of others, or that it at least provided somewhat of a thrill to be the cyber angel of death.
Demon, internet demon.
Re-emerged. Celia Blay continued to monitor the situation.
I remember her.
To make as many people as possible aware of Lee Dow and her strategies.
Watch part 1, remember.
In fact, Celia Blay truly tried her very best to stop Lee Dow from getting vulnerable people to kill themselves. All the evidence
Nice.
gathered. Unfortunately, the police did not take the matter as seriously as they should have.
Man, doesn't count if it's in a chat room or discussion forum.
Lowe was personally invested in outing Lee Dow, as a friend of hers had almost committed suicide after entering into the now formulaic suicide pact with Lee.
Oh, man. Yeah, fake pact. Thought so.
In 2008, Lowe sent an email to a user named Falcon Girl. She asked for a
Falcon Girl.
good place.
No number? Old days of the internet. Not really.
I think you said you have a webcam. That would help too. In none of their exchange did Cammy try to persuade Lowe to rethink her.
She wants to watch.
It seemed as if she always were prepared to tell people how exactly to kill themselves. At this point, Blay believed that this Lee Dow character had convinced over 50 people to kill themselves.
Really? Even if not all 50 of them, 50 people she had those convos with. You know, some of them. Definitely. Ooh. In a forum like that. I don't even know. I don't know what her research was.
And watched him die, so he would not die alone. Lowe asked how old the man was. He was 32, just like Mark Dreiber.
Oh.
Lowe said she was ready to hang herself, but she...
Is this going to be like Don't F with Cats? They're going to find them?
She insisted that
Internet
Cammy
people.
get a webcam so they could see and hear each other. Lowe asked why he had pretended to be a woman, and he responded, mostly because if and only if there were any legal consequences for my helping anyone, they would come looking for a girl.
I wonder if this person actually authentically thinks they're doing the right thing. No, can't be. They're psycho.
The header of their email contained a name. Bill Melkert Dinkle. Unfortunately, Faribault ended up being outside of his jurisdiction and instead suggested to contact the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Ironically, he was a resident nurse who was also married to a nurse, and they had 2 daughters. Melkert Dinkle's bizarre practices had begun long before he had created his online personas. Once in 1994, where he simply did not inform the medical authorities that a resident's condition was severely worsening, resulting in the patient's death. He was later diagnosed with a learning disability and attention deficit disorder. However, he was put on medication. In fact, in one nursing home he had worked at, he was fired for allegedly abusing 2 residents. This caused his license to be limited, though it deserved suspension.
Shit.
He immediately told the police the truth, mostly. When the police interviewed him, he was surprisingly
The police
direct. Sergeant Hyder asked
finally got
Melker
him.
about his online interactions, and he immediately removed his wife from the equation.
We got him.
The police, however, did
Oh,
find that he
shoot.
had made multiple suicide pacts, around a dozen, though he could only confirm of 5 that effectively did end up taking their lives.
He's the devil on your shoulder.
While morally this case is as open and shut as it can be, what does the law say? Is this a question of free speech?
What does the law say?
Accountability?
He's a real villain, anyway. Regardless of the law.
The punishment can be up to over a decade in prison on top of a $30,000 fine. Melkert Dinkle received a meager 360 days in jail,
Ugh.
just under 1 year. Melkert Dinkle
Yikes.
has said, quote, "I am sorry. I have repented."
Really?
Even though he has been released from jail for 5 years now, his lawyer continues to appeal the conviction. The pure coincidence of being on a website at the same time as a stranger
This is
in and of
trippy.
itself can feel surreal, let alone when the stranger is prepared to do the unthinkable. A grim reaper who cannot even face his own actions.
That's a good description of him. Grim Reaper. Definitely, probably doesn't know his actions. Well, I mean, considering his past, like the nursing home thing, maybe he does.
Thank
He's
you
just
for
a master
watching. Your
manipulator.
support means a lot to me.
Remember to ring that bell, please. Might as well plug my channel while he's plugging his. I was plugging my channel, by the way. Hit that bell. Well, I guess you could hit his bell too if you want. If you like the content. Good stuff. And a satisfying yet mildly infuriating conclusion to the story. My goodness, we got some answers. Wow. I do like the whole vibe of the show, you know? It's kind of like Discovery Channel. Well, maybe not Discovery Channel, but definitely like one of those crime shows. But like the vibe is even like more like the kind of mystery shows you'd watch as a kid. Like, I can't even name them, it's been such a long time, but you know, not X-Files-y, but like PG kind of X-Files. Something that that guy from Star Trek would host, not Patrick Stewart, but his second in command. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, those kind of shows. That's the vibe I get from this. I love it. But you know what? With those shows on TV, they're great. You don't get mysteries like this. Internet killers and the kind who literally just like convince you to off yourself. Like, that's diabolical. Like for kicks, saying he's gonna do it with them, but obviously that was just like part of the manipulation. Cray cray. Man, scary too. Internet. Chat rooms aren't as common as they were because of guys like him. Ruined chat rooms and discussion forums, for being honest. Whatever happened to the discussion forums on IMDb? He ruined them. Guys like him. Oh man. Golden days of the internet. Nostalgia factor. Well done. I liked it. And if you liked my reaction to it, thank you. Thank you so much. Remember to give me a like. Very much appreciated. And sub if you haven't. You know, totally free. And if you change your mind later, you just, unsub. Easy peasy. Yeah, and you'll probably also get a kick out of that right there. I'm Snoopaloo. Thanks for stopping by, America. And, everywhere else.